Now that we have the whole U-seam pinned and you've gotten your teacher approval, you're ready to sew this U-seam. Now anytime it says stitch, you always stitch 5/8. That's for clothing. So it just says here stitch crotch seam. So we're going to start at the top, go all the way around to the other side. So we're going to put it in at 5/8 and put your needle down. You're just going to back stitch, and I'm just going to go around pretty quickly, but you need to take your time. You can sew over your pins if you put them in perpendicular. Every once in a while you will break a pin. Now when you get to the curve, you definitely need to remember that circle worksheet you did and slowly go around because you don't want to get off that 5/8 mark. You're going to sew over the seam allowance and keep on going. You're halfway there. Okay, 5/8 all the way up. Now we're back to a straightaway. I'm sewing with a lighter color fabric just so you could see my stitch, but you would sew with a blending fabric. Get to the top, you'll back stitch. All right, now one other thing in shorts that they have you do is a reinforcement stitch right here on the curve, because that's where a lot of stress is from walking. And so what it tells us in the directions, it says stitch again 1/4 of an inch away from the seam allowance. So I'm going to start right here where this notch is, the triangle, and I'm going to put the edge of my presser foot on the edge of the fabric. That's a 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to back stitch. All right, I'm going to take my pins out as I go because I don't want to run over the balls of the pins, except for these. Okay. Go over the seam allowance again and back to the top. Not to the top, just to the other notch or close to the notch. You just really want to get that curve done. Now, once you have done that, you are also going to trim just right here out so it's not bulky. And you're just going to take your scissors. You're not going to cut that 1/4 inch seam. You're just going to cut next to it. Trim some of that bulk out. And that is how you do the crotch seam. 2 stitches. One all the way to the top at 5/8, then you're going to do a 1/4 of an inch